Hi, I'm Amy.
I'm Laura.
And we are TwopaperGirls.
This week's Top 5 Wednesday is all your favourite LGBT plus reads, and we are doing a joint one for this one because we haven't read too many yet and not 5 each that are different or as good as they could be. Like I recently read More Happy Than Not and had a few problems with that, so see that down below in the March wrap up. But we've got 5 here that we think are really, really good and representative.
The first book that we both want to mention is Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan, which they wrote jointly. And this is probably one of the first books that I've ever read when I was a kid about LGBT characters. And the focus is really heavily on LGBT characters because Will Grayson is about 2 guys called Will Grayson, and one of them is straight and one of them is gay, and his best friend is Tiny Cooper, which you may know a lot about, but he's hilarious. He's got his own spin-off called Hold Me Closer, which is absolutely hilarious, and he just writes musicals. But this book was just really great in the way that it kind of just said like these 2 people are exactly the same in their names, and in like probably they get on really well. The only thing that's different is their sexuality, which doesn't matter at all. And it was a really good read. It's very funny as well.
The next one I wanted to mention is Giant Days by a variety of people, and this is about 3 university friends. I've talked about this a lot recently because it's one of my new favourite graphic novel series. 3 friends who meet at university, and it's set in England, and it's very refreshing to read about people of that age group. And obviously when a lot of people get to university, they see it as a time to reinvent themselves or possibly like be more honest about things like sexuality. And one of the main characters, Daisy, in the first one has a lesbian relationship with this girl, but then it kind of ends sourly, and at the start of this one they're at a party and she sees her with a new girl and she's really upset. So it's kind of, but she's not 100% sure if she's lesbian or bisexual or just curious, so it's got a lot of like discussion of her trying to figure out what's going on. Like I remember her saying like, oh, what if I just need to find the right guy and I just really got on with her, and she's kind of like exploring it, which I think is nice, especially with the age group. I think it's quite like true to that age group that people get more curious, and she's just a really lovable character, and it's just about like female friendship, and it's great.
The next one I'd like to mention is More Than This by Pat Jones, which is a book I read a couple of years ago now, but it's incredible. It's a sci-fi mix-up fantasy. Also, a bit of romance tucked in there, and that is where the LGBT's aspect comes into it. I can't say much about it because it's a big kind of intricate plot line that kind of amalgamates it all in, but basically the main character is gay and faces a lot of problems with it, and I can't really say much else about it, but the way it actually handles it, we've had a chat about it. I'm sorry this like summary has been a bit topsy-turvy, but it's because it isn't a happy ending. Basically it shows the difficulties that people can face when they're criticised about their sexuality, and it's really heartbreaking, this story. And it's been so long since I've read it, I can't remember if it does end happily, but basically I think it's just a really good way of the story being maybe like not have that entirely as the plot line, but also it's in there and it's like good representation, and it's not just like sideline, but it's not actually like the main thing as if, oh look, this is like the thing that's the book's about. It's just in there because that's just a normal thing for it to be.
Our next one is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by, I think, Benjamin Alazirez? I don't know. I'll leave it down below though. But again, this was one of the first books I read with LGBT, and it is a slight spoiler, but I think it becomes quite apparent like about halfway through the book, a bit less, so it's not too spoilery. But this book I remember just again being like really heartwarming and just about the 2 main characters like discovering themselves, and it all starts off as friendship and then just kind of develops, and it's and it has really great parents as well, which I think is nice because in plenty of YA books there's just non-existent parents, let alone good understanding ones when it comes to LGBT stuff. So Aristotle and Dante, I just remember it being beautiful. I can't remember very much about it. It's just these 2 people, I think are in Mexico or like near the Mexican border, and they just have this great friendship, and then I think they go away and then they're reunited, and it's just lovely.
And the last one we both want to mention is a book that we actually haven't got around to yet, which is The Last Beginning by Lauren James, because this is a sequel to The Next Together, which is a duology series. And basically we were going to mention The Next Together because in that it's got lesbian grandparents, because it looks to the future of, well, what's going to happen in like 50 years time when like people actually that age and that sexuality get represented in books, because obviously there were lesbian grandparents in like the 40s, but no one talked about it then. Yeah, the main character Clove in this book and her girlfriend are like the main characters in the last beginning, and it's just all about them, and they're just doing kind of the same thing as the main characters did in the next together. But it's just going to be so good to read about, and I'm just really excited to actually finally get into this.
So all our favourite books that include LGBT plus representation, whether it be like the main focus or just some characters' story arcs, but we all think they're really, really good. So let us know down below some recommendations, because like we said, we haven't actually read that many yet, and we definitely want to read more. It's in lots of books that are on our like TBR, we think, like The Last Beginning, but there's definitely, we're always welcome to seeing more. So let us know down below, and we will see you on the next video. Bye!